Hi, if you're looking for a practical way to help out during the current crisis, here's a simple step-by-step video of how to create these simple visors, a list of materials that you need and a few simple tools. Maybe your kids could help you make them while they're off school at the moment, and then donate them to your local hospital. Each piece of foam is 2 meters long. It should be cut into 5 400mm sections. 400mm, and then each piece of perspex is 300mm wide. First bit of foam, measure 50mm in from one end, 50mm in from the other end. That will be the same width as the piece of glass. Each piece of foam has a tiny line on it. It's not cut all the way through. You need to cut from the 300mm mark down gently through to the other mark and stop there. That will enable the perspex to be slipped eventually into this gap. For every 6 visors, you have to sacrifice one piece of foam, cut into half and then cut into thirds, carefully cutting all the way down once through there, to create 3 fairly even pieces of foam. This is then inserted through the middle of the visor rim. That helps to stop it kinking later on when you fold it. 4 rubber bands have to be connected end to end, just hooked through each other to create one long rubber band that will have 3 knots in it. That will be the length of the rubber that eventually goes all the way through and round the back of the head. Take your pre-split piece of foam, insert one of the pieces of foam through the centre. Take your coat hanger that's got a hook curled back on itself slightly so it doesn't catch anything. Push it up through the centre of the foam. Hook the rubber band on and pull it back through, holding on to one end and pulling out the other end and taking hold of it. That's the trickiest part. Taking the 2 ends of the rubber band, push it against yourself, secure one end with half a cocktail stick, the other end with half a cocktail stick. Where you've been pushing it and pulling it, straighten it up so that the line is nice and straight and not bent. That will help you get the visor in once it's glued. The glass fronts are basically from Viking. They are report covers. Take each cover, make sure your hands are clean at this stage, lay it on the edge of the table, ready for gluing with a contact adhesive. Take the glue, never pass it over the top of the glass, otherwise you'll get glue on the face of it. Run a bead of glue down this face one edge, the top edge that you're going to insert into the slot. Take it off, turn your glass round, run a bead along the other face. Don't pass the glue over the top of the glass when you take it off, pull it away. Take your pre-split piece of 22mm foam, push the nozzle inside the slot from one end, gently squeeze and apply a bead through the middle, which will be on both faces, till you get to the other end and stop. Don't pass the glue over the glass again. Rub the two faces together of the foam, splits foam. Hold on to the piece of glass with the hanging over the edge of the table. Insert one corner and gently ease the glass into the slot with little short juddering motion. It's quite tricky, just persevere. Don't push one end in too far, and then just insert it until you feel it hit the foam in the middle. Line it up with your pencil marks. Leave that for 10-15 minutes and then readdress it and squeeze it together, and the contact adhesive will grip the plastic nice and tight. You can probably do 5 or 10 of these before you need to go back and repress the foam together, and that then is achieved, the bit that you then leave for 6 to 8 hours before you fold into shape. This one I made earlier. Take a cable tie, unattach one end, holding onto the rubber band, unattach the other end, holding onto the rubber band, fold it round your forehead so as not to kink it, push the bands together, secure the back of the bands with a cable tie, shape it into your forehead. That is the shape you're trying to achieve. If it's pulling too tight, ease out a little bit of blue band to achieve a perfect U, ready to attach the yellow forehead strip. Take a pair of scissors, snip off the spare cable tie, shape the ends of the visor into a quadrant so as not to poke out the patient's eye when being worn. Visor is now ready to have the forehead strip attached with a hot glue gun, not the Evo stick. Final stage is to shape the end, being careful not to cut through the rubber band. Cut straight through there, turn it round, to achieve that shape, and the rubber band still in place, ready for the yellow strip to be attached. Final stage is to stick on the foam forehead band. I've made these out of a camping mat, which I've cut strip of 150mm wide, trimmed off inch pieces. Take the headband, use a hot glue gun, lay a line of glue along the edge. Be careful with the glue being hot. Place the forehead band in the centre of the visor, grip it and pull it hard to the centre. Let the glue set. The visor is now complete. If it's too tight around the back of the head, a little bit more blue rubber band can be eased out. If it's too loose, close it up and it will pull back in. The visor pulls onto the forehead. It's perfectly operational now and is now being used in the South East Coast Ambulance Service.